Hello everyone, Cool Dude Pokemon here, back again with another episode of Choose Your Character, the series where you suggest Smash newcomers and I make a moveset for them. However, today we will be doing something a little out of the ordinary. Today, as we have finished Season 1 of Choose Your Character, I will be going through all of the characters we have ranked so far and discuss them. Upon looking at this image of the tier list I made, which we'll get into in a second, I realized that I forgot to put Steve on there, so I'm either going to probably poorly Photoshop him into the video, or he just won't be there and I'll just talk about him. So without further ado, as I said in the intro, this episode I will just be going through this list of characters, and I will be ranking them and talking about them based on how likely they are to join the roster of Smash. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and step right into it. For episode 7, I believe it was, we had Jotaro Kujo. Wait, no, he was episode 8. Jotaro Kujo, least likely character we've rated so far. He's never getting in Smash. I gave him his own tier for that. I don't want Jotaro in Smash. I don't want any anime character in Smash. The only reason I covered him in Season 1 is because he was supposed to be a filler episode until I got the Ryu Hayabusa episode done. So yeah, I don't want any non-video game character in Smash Brothers, and that applies to Jotaro as well. Not much else to say about it, so yeah, he's never getting in. Moving on to the 5th character we covered, which was the car from Rocket League. Actually, he was the 6th character we covered. I keep getting the numbers mixed up. Out of all the characters that I think have a chance to get into Smash, I feel like the Rocket League car is obviously the one with the least possibility of getting in Smash. For starters, the episode where I discussed him was more of a joke, as it was a joke request that one of my friends made. But you know what? If he got in the game, I wouldn't even be mad. I think that would be hilarious. So yeah, Rocket League car, he's near impossible, but I would definitely be laughing my. I just think it would be funny if he was in the game, essentially. I'm recording this at night, so my voice is going to be a little more quiet than usual, and my dialogue's not going to be as clear, but I hope this is fine, considering this is supposed to be a shorter video anyway. Moving up to the next character we covered, which was episode 7, with Zoroark from Pokemon. I feel like he's not the... Okay. He's a Pokemon character, and we're probably going to keep getting Pokemon characters in the future. The only problem that I could see with him getting into Smash is that he's from a generation that has already come and gone, that being Generation 5, the Unova games, Black and White. And if we were to get a Black and White Pokemon, I'd be pretty confident in saying that it would be Zoroark. However, that being said, we would have to get the Black and White Pokemon first, and frankly put, I just don't see that happening. So, he's not impossible per se, but he's definitely less possible. Whereas a Pokemon like Sceptile was very popular during the Smash ballot, I didn't really see that much request for Zoroark during that time period. Alright, now we're moving up to the characters that have a pretty decent shot of getting in the game. Starting things off with episode 5's character, Dr. Eggman from the Sonic the Hedgehog series. I feel like out of all the characters who are pretty likely to get into Smash, he's the one that has the least chance. That is simply because if we were to get another Sonic rep, which I think could happen in the future, I don't know if it would be Dr. Eggman. I'm uncertain as to who it would be. I think it would either end up being Eggman, Tails, or Shadow. And personally, I would rather have Tails. I think that he would be really cool. However, Eggman, I wouldn't be upset. I just feel like we should get another Sonic character, considering how big of a series the Sonic franchise is. Then moving up, we have episode 3 with Scorpion from the Mortal Kombat series. Now, I would put Scorpion higher because back when DLC speculation was first beginning, I kind of had a gut feeling that Scorpion was going to be one of the DLC characters. However, now that I think about it, I realized recently that Mortal Kombat is kind of, it's not localized in Japan, which definitely hurts his chances. And I don't think that Scorpion has a high enough chance of getting in when you compare him to the other big front-running Western character that everyone keeps talking about, that being Doomguy. Both of them are very similar characters in terms of their blood and gore aspect, but of course both of these aspects could be toned down for Smash. And on top of that, we just did get Terry Bogard announced recently, who will be coming out pretty soon, and he's kind of taken the spot for a fighting game character. So I honestly think that if Scorpion is going to get into Smash, it's probably not going to be as the 5th fighter in the Fighter's Pass. That being said, he's definitely in my top 10 most wanted characters, which I think I'm going to do a video of that eventually, of my top 10 characters I want in Smash, but I digress. So yeah, he's not impossible, but I don't see him getting in the Fighter's Pass at least. Alright, now we're moving into the characters that I think have a pretty good shot of getting into Smash, starting up with the first episode of the series I ever did 6 months ago, being Raiden from the Metal Gear Solid series. Now, normally, I think a lot of people might be confused as to why Raiden is this high, and I will admit there is some bias in this, as I love Metal Gear Solid, and personally I feel like Metal Gear Solid deserves a second character, as it was the first third-party franchise to be added to Smash. That being said, the only reason Raiden is this high is because there was recently a poll that came out on where it showed the results of the most wanted characters from each region, being Japan, the United States, and the European Union. And it seemed, if I recall, Raiden was the 6th most requested character in Japan, which honestly surprised me because I thought there weren't that many Metal Gear Solid character requests coming in for Smash. So yeah, Raiden is also in my top 10 most wanted characters, so if he were to get in, I would be pretty happy. Honestly, if any Metal Gear Solid character were to get in, I think that would be pretty awesome, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. When I say that I think Raiden is pretty likely, I don't mean that he's going to be the 5th character. I think he has a chance of being future DLC if he's going to be in the game at all. Now moving on to the second episode on the series with my most wanted character for Smash, that being Phoenix Wright of the Ace Attorney series. Now, Phoenix Wright is kind of interesting because I feel like we're going to get a Capcom character announced sometime, whether it be I think that a Capcom character is bound to get in as DLC sometime during Ultimate's lifespan. And when I think about it, I feel like the two series it comes down to claiming this spot are Resident Evil and Ace Attorney. Now, I haven't done a Resident Evil character on this channel yet, as I don't know that much about the series. I will probably eventually get around to doing one if one ever requests it, but until then, I'm just going to talk about Phoenix. Now, Phoenix, this one is obviously going to have a lot of bias in it as well as Raiden, because Phoenix is my most wanted character. But I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on his chances, because recently in a lot of prediction videos, I've seen more and more people kind of believe that Phoenix could be one of the DLC characters. That being said, I don't know if he's going to be in the Fighter's Pass, but if he were, I would definitely scream. I would upload my reaction of that just so you guys could hear me freak out. And now we're moving into the characters that I think are the most likely to get into Smash. I forgot to put Steve on the tier list, as I mentioned earlier, but starting things off with the 3rd most likely character of this tier is the 10th episode of Season 1, which was Steve. I feel like Steve still has a pretty good chance of getting in, even though we already have Banjo and Kazooie. There's not much else to it, it's just kind of a gut feeling I have, because just do keep in mind that these are all my opinions. There's really not much else to it. I just feel like he's still pretty likely, and that Banjo being in doesn't really affect his chances too much. That being said, I could be completely wrong, and because we got Banjo, we could not be getting Steve in this game at all. But only time will tell. Moving on to Episode 4, we had Bandana Waddle Dee, who is the 2nd most likely of the characters. Now, Bandana Waddle Dee is very interesting because I believe if we are ever to get a first-party character in the future, I am fairly certain that it is probably going to be Bandana Waddle Dee. There was a lot of fan demand for him during the Smash ballot, and I know a lot of people want him in the game. So, I'm neutral towards the character. If he were to get in, I would be happy for his fans. But, I feel like, honestly, he's waited long enough to get into Smash, so I wouldn't be upset at all, honestly. So, I just think that he's pretty likely, if we're ever... After the Fighters Pass, if we are going to get first-party characters, I believe that he's most likely going to be in it. And then finally wrapping things up with the most likely character, in my opinion, we have Ryu Hayabusa. Now, I don't know if that many people have been keeping up with leaks in terms of people who watch my channel, but recently there have been a lot of leaks saying that Ryu Hayabusa will be the 5th character in the Fighters Pass. I try to stay away from talking about leaks when I mention probability of characters getting in, but when so many leaks come out saying that Ryu Hayabusa is going to be in the game, it's a bit hard to ignore. Now, I know that a lot of other leaks have come out saying that he's not in the game. However, I'm just choosing to put him this high off of what I personally believe, because even if he's not the 5th character in the Fighters Pass, I still think that he has a very good chance of being in post-Fighters Pass as DLC. And with that wraps up this quick season finale. Overall, I'm very happy with the characters that we covered this season. We had some joke ones, like Jotaro in the Rocket League car. We had some characters that I hold really close to my heart, like Phoenix Wright. And then we had some popular ones, like Ryu Hayabusa and Bandana Waddle Dee. I'm going to try to do some stuff over the next month or two before starting up Season 2. But I will say this, the first episode of Season 2, which will be episode 11 of Choose Your Character, we will be talking about Chrono from the Chrono Trigger game, a Square RPG. So until then, this is Cool Dude Cobra Mice signing off, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.